Hey guys. Well, I've been talking about Apex Legends quite a bit recently with all of the controversy, and there's another pretty controversial thing that's coming in this new season that they just announced. They've been letting YouTubers play it ahead of time, and I wanted to talk about that as well. No, this doesn't have to do with the Battle Pass or any sort of monetization. This actually does have to do with gameplay. For the first time, I think, ever, aim assist is actually getting quite severely nerfed. And this is a really big deal, actually, at least for PC players. So, in case you haven't heard, there's two different types of aim assist in Apex Legends. If you're playing on a console, you have zero point 0.6 strength aim assist. So you can think of that as 60% strength aim assist. 100%, 1.0, it would be literally aimbot, right? It would be your aim just locks onto the player and it does not move from the player. So um you have 60% of that aim assist over if you're playing on console. And on PC, if you're playing on a controller, you would get zero point 0.4, so 40% aim assist. And I'm somebody that has tons of hours on console and tons of hours on PC as well. I have about 800 or so hours on console. And then I have about another 800, maybe even a little more than that on PC. So I've played with both. I've played mouse and keyboard, I've played controller on both. And I gotta say, for me personally, I actually prefer the aim assist on PC. I thought that it was a little bit less like egregious. There's a lot of times whenever I would play on console where I'd be aiming at a dude and I'd be shooting him, and then maybe a guy like runs past, and that aim assist would just lock onto that dude running past and pull my aim off. It was super annoying, man. So I actually prefer the 40%, but we're actually seeing a nerf to the PC value of aim assist now. So it's going from that zero point 0.4 to a zero point 0.3. So 25% is getting knocked off, you know, relatively speaking. It's going to be a 30% aim assist instead of the current 40% aim assist. And honestly, I'm going to have to obviously play with it, but I don't think that is going to be too big of a deal. I don't think it's going to be too much of an impact for people who are actually just good on controller. I think it's still going to be very strong. I think it's still going to be very good. However, the big change here is that now if you are playing with a console player, their aim assist is no longer going to be zero point 0.6. It's going to be the PC value, which will be zero point 0.3. And this is going to be a really big deal, man, because there was actually about a week, several years ago, there's about a week where they accidentally changed the aim assist on console from zero point 0.6 to the PC value of zero point 0.4. And console players lost their collective minds. They went insane. They were so angry. They flooded Reddit and Twitter. They said the game, I don't know what it is, but the game feels terrible now. It feels awful. I can't hit any shots. And lo and behold, that was with them accidentally doing PC aim assist, which was zero point 0.4. So now any console players that are playing with PC players are going to be at zero point 0.3. And I think this is going to be rough for a lot of them that are used to that very strong aim assist. Now, of course, there's no crossplay normally between console and PC. So if you are just somebody that plays exclusively on console, you never play with any PC players, you're not going to be impacted by this at all. You're still going to be at your zero point 0.6 and you're going to be bing chilling. But if you are somebody that occasionally plays with PC players, this is going to impact you. Also, if you're just a PC player, this is going to impact you because even if you're a PC player and you're not playing with console players, you do still get console players in your lobbies. And this was always a little bit frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Yes, console players do have their own unique issues that plague them, like the 60 FPS, for example. But it was always a little bit frustrating when you get into a fight with someone, you're fighting that default lifeline or whatever, and you just get 100 to 0 beamed instantly. And it's pretty funny, actually. I have probably about a 90% success rate in getting beamed and then just instantly going, yeah, that guy's on console. And then, they kill you and it shows you the little icon and they're almost always on console. Like it is something that once you've played the game enough, you can tell almost instantly. And I think overall, these are fantastic changes. I think these are awesome changes. If you're just somebody on console, it's not that big of a deal. But, aim assist has been a very hot button topic in a lot of FPS games. And Apex Legends, I would say, is one of the most hotly contested situations because just to put it bluntly, it is just better. Like playing on controller is just better in almost all situations than playing on mouse and keyboard because of the aim assist. And this is just a fact. I mean, if you look at literally any metric, any study that's been done on it, and there's been several in the Apex Legends community, controller players, especially controller players on PC, have reigned supreme. I mean, we're talking about them being over 85% of the top players. We're talking about 90%, if not even a little higher, of professional players being on controller or swapping to controller from mouse and keyboard. We're talking about an average accuracy difference of about 10%, which is absurd. It is absolutely absurd that the average accuracy for the average controller player is almost 10% higher than the average accuracy for a mouse and keyboard player. Yes, there are some obvious, advantages. If you're on mouse and keyboard, you can do things like tap strafing and advanced movement mechanics. But ultimately, what wins a fight in the vast majority of the situations is who's landing the most shots. And obviously, controller reigns supreme in that regard. So I think this is just an awesome change all around. I think that it does not impact those console players. They still get to have their zero point 0.6. I think it's going to feel really bad for a lot of them if they do decide to play with a PC player because their aim assist is going to be halved, and that is going to be rough for a lot of them. But I also think it's just a W all around for PC gamers. I think if you are somebody that's good on controller like myself, I don't think a zero point 0.4 to a zero point 0.3 is really going to be that big of a deal. I think if you're somebody that really heavily crutches upon aim assist, then maybe a zero point 0.4 to a zero point 0.3 might be a little bit too much for you. You might notice it. I mean, I think you're gonna notice it regardless, but I think it might be a little bit bigger of a impediment that than if you are somebody that's just really good on controller like myself. But I think it's done perfectly because now even if you are somebody that doesn't use controller, you're somebody that plays mouse and keyboard and you don't play with console players, you're still going to have a better time because the console players are not going to be laser beaming you as easily. So, all in all, W's across the board for this change in my view, it's kind of been an unfortunate situation with the aim assist because I'm somebody that considers myself at least in the past very, very good when it comes to mouse and keyboard aim. I was global elite in CS:GO. I was top 10 in all of North America for PUBG. I'm somebody that has performed at a very, very high level in other games utilizing mouse and keyboard. And it was just a kind of an unfortunate situation where even with that proficiency of mouse and keyboard in a game like Apex, and I had the same thing with Halo as well, but I just felt like I could not compete. Like it was just better for me, even though I'm far less experienced on controller. I saw much better results swapping to controller than I ever did on mouse and keyboard. So I'm happy to see it. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, though. What do you think about this? Obviously, aim assist is a very controversial topic, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you think that this is a good change? Are you disappointed in the change? Do you think, you know, are you one of those people that thinks aim assist is not that big of a deal? Like I see a lot of arguments for. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. I always love engaging in conversation with you guys and seeing different points of view. But anyway, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see all of you in the next video or from Sir Maroney. Bye bye.